Another 291 exam objective you'll find is the ability or the topic of managing DHCP databases. And it's something that really in the real world you don't have to do too much because DHCP is such a dynamic entity, it's such a dynamic service, and the database is a dynamic database and it's easily recreatable as you've just seen. But we want to at least recognize how to manage some of the DHCP databases or to manage the DHCP databases. There are three methods you can use. You can make use of automatic backups. Automatic backups occur by default every 60 minutes. You can use manual backups. This is done through the MMC console. And you can also back up DHCP information using the Windows backup. And Windows backup, if you back up the system state, it will also back up the DHCP database. We want to take a look at, because this is the only one that really needs button pushing intervention on our part, the manual backups, which is done through the MMC console. And it's really a very straightforward procedure. First of all, you need to open up the DHCP console, and then on the properties of the server, you select the server whose database you're going to back up. And first of all, let's look at the properties of this server on the Advanced tab. Here is the backup path. Windows folder, the system root folder, System32, DHCP, and then backup. We can select a different folder, although I don't really recommend it. It's something that the default backup path is just fine, and 999 times out of 1,000. To manually back up the contents of the DHCP database, you right-click and choose Backup. Select the backup path. You can use the same one that the default is in, which is, again, just fine. Click on OK, and after a couple seconds, usually, you will have the database backed up. So that's it. What just got backed up? You may be wondering. All the scopes, all the reservations you've set, all the active leases, the information about what is currently leased out gets backed up. Any options that you've set, including server options, scope options, reservation options, and class options. So in other words, anything that's crucial to the operation of DHCP gets backed up. To restore the database, open up your DHCP consoles. The database has become corrupted. We can restore from backup. Right-click and restore. Where are the backed up files? They're in the backup directory here. Service must be stopped and restarted. Do this now. Yes, the console is going to go out and find the DHCP files, import them, stop and start the service, and after that we should be right as rain. And we're done. So I've just restored from backup, and indeed everything looks the same as it should. We've got the same scope options, we've got the same leases. If there were leases that were out, then those would be listed as well. So in other words, all the information, our reservations, everything will be included when we back up. Now, if you're wondering about changing the default interval, which automatically is done every 60 minutes, and this just won't suit your needs at all, then you can change that, but you have to open up the registry and edit a registry key that defines the behavior of DHCP. Start Run Reg Edit opens up the registry editor, and then it's here. It's under HKey Local Machine, and then it should be under System, Current Control Set, Services, and then look for the DHCP server key parameters, and then in the parameters folder, in the parameters key, you should see a backup interval. And here you can set this value of 3C is the hexadecimal equivalent of 60 minutes. So that's where you can set it. It's just not really necessary under any kind of normal environment to do this because, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, you can set up a DHCP database in no time at all by just configuring your scopes again. So worst case scenario, your DHCP blows up, but it's just not that hard to recover a DHCP disaster.